Welcome to our open tabs.
Welcome to our open tabs.
My name is Jess,
I'm Mara.
and we have not done a good coordinated intro yet. We're working on it. We're not, but it'll get there.
Someday we're gonna happen into one, and we'll just be like, yes, this is
Yep.
the right intro.
We're just gonna flow into it. But for now, it's this. So
Yeah. Well, someday I feel like for our clothes, we need to get the sound of like a bunch of tabs getting closed. Like I feel like
I need
that's
to look for that.
Yeah. I keep meaning to try to find that as a sound, but that I feel like we have more of a vision for, but the intro eludes us.
Just yeah, we're gonna have to wait till it happens itself. Sorry, not sorry. I shan't apologize. Ooh, what you sipping on?
Oh, Trader Joe's raspberry lime seltzer, as always.
Fancy. Your nails look very pretty.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's the summertime. We gotta make them neon for
Nice
while we can. Because it's like a gajillion degree. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but it's like 105 here every day, and it's miserable.
Mara, I am sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. So hot. So hot. Even in the morning when I've been trying to wake up earlier and walk Nigel, it's only 75. It's so humid that he's like, girl,
Well, good.
He's like, I walk around the block, and he's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I want to go back in the house. Yeah, it's inhumane outside.
Yeah. Never been more grateful to have indoor pets.
And my dog, Nigel, loves to bask in the sun. He will literally, I will let him out midday, hottest part of the day. He will go lay in the middle of the yard in the grass, just lay. Are you a lizard? What is wrong with you? It's hot.
No. Now, the cats do follow the sunshine throughout the day. So they like follow where the light is coming in. But no, I don't understand it. I'm proud of myself for not just having it on 66 degrees all day, like trying to not wear out my air conditioning / like consume too much energy, but I'm like, this is so miserable. I hate this so much.
Yeah, but it's been boiling hot here too. Just miserable, been dry, no rain.
I know.
I step outside, I'm like, oh.
Now we do have rain. We have constant summer like showers that are threatening to throw off my electricity.
We haven't in a while. I feel like since we had like the storms in June, we haven't had rain, and I'm like, could you just rain, please? At least one day. Can I get a rainy Saturday in bed, please?
Yeah.
But I just have to put on my dang on ambiance on my phone and pretend like it's raining when it's not. It's 110 degrees high. Just you can see like the heat on the concrete. It's like,
for a second, I thought I thought ambiance was your sunscreen of choice, because I know you're such a connoisseur.
I feel like that's a great name for a sunscreen. Maybe I need to contact someone. So let's make it. No, but that'd be great. Ambiance
SPF by 50. Jess.
Oh my god! I bet you it exists already, but I like that name.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, Jess, today I have ever since you told me this was going to be the topic, I have purposefully not watched anything. I have avoided any references to it because I'm like, you know what? Jess is going to give me a full a full accounting, so I don't need to worry about this.
You sure don't.
What are we talking
sure
about
don't.
today?
We're talking about Sound of Freedom. Woo! Let freedom ring. A recent film. Although I found out it was filmed in 2018, but I guess they had some trouble getting it out. But it just came out recently in the theaters nationwide, international. I don't know, but and it also was rivaling the recent Indiana Jones movie at the box office.
Really?
And I was like, yikes. Yes, because I mean, this is America. There's a lot of people who want to see that movie. So I had not heard of this movie because this is not in my realm of movie I ever want to watch. But I saw someone who I follow on TikTok, and then I followed her on Instagram, share something in her story, like, I just saw this film. It's so powerful. I'm like, what kind of movie is this? And then click on her next story, and it's like, well, I won't share what that is because it'll spoil something on here. But I go and I watch the trailer. And I knew it was going to be a mess when I saw thing one, then thing two. Thing one, Jim Caviezel. I was like, Lord have mercy. Here we go.
No.
And then thing
You mean
two,
Jesus?
yes, Jesus himself. Mel Gibson's bestie, Jimmy Caviezel. And then thing two, line. I'm going to try not to.
Wait, who?
The line in the movie, a line, just like a line that he says in the movie.
Oh.
And he goes, God's children are not for sale. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is terrible. And then I started, of course, the algorithm started algorithming and listening to. And so then I started getting all these videos about it. And I was like, oh, God. So, anywho's,
because
I have literally large.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have a comically large whiteboard. The only thing I know about this is that it's, I think, made from the QAnon people. Okay, that's literally all I
know. So I'm gonna try to do this without yanking my stupid little cord that's connected.
Okay, and I'm gonna try to, like, for those of you who are watching on the video version of the show, I'm gonna make Jess bigger so that we can see her. We can see her whiteboard.
Where'd you go? It doesn't
I'm still
show
here.
you?
Well, to make you big, that's I think the only way to do it.
To see, okay, well, I won't keep this up for long. I can't see your face. Like, what the heck? So
I'm trying to find a way to show.
I'm gonna read these things out so you don't need to, like, it's fine. We can stay like this.
Okay. We'll try. We'll
show you all this mess. Okay. Sound of
Wow.
Freedom.
Whoa, this is like a dissertation.
The movie. Based on true events.
Oh no.
True event. I'm giving
I'm already worried.
To those.
I'm already worried.
Who are listening, it's based on true events. So now, there's so much up here. I had to put this because when I Googled the movie, the first thing that it said harrowing, dark, gripping. And I'm like, okay. Anywho, the movie is.
I mean, I bet it is dark. Studios. That I believe. Sure. It probably is dark.
Yeah, like literally visually, because Hollywood doesn't want us to watch anything. Like, how am I supposed to see?
Yeah,
but also dark in that way.
Yeah, dark. It's like dark-sided.
Yes. So this movie is distributed by Angel Studios, which I just think is funny, which is co-founded by Neil and Jeffrey Harmon, who are you guess their religious affiliation?
I'm gonna guess they're fundies of some kind.
Well, they're Mormons.
Whoa!
Latter-day Saints. Yeah, the tie-ins. You don't have to look far on this for the tie-ins to Joseph.
Okay, so, I mean, we're however many minutes in, guys. We've already identified how this leads back to Mormonism.
Is this a record? Maybe not. Yeah. So the movie was created they filmed it in 2018, but had some problems because Hollywood doesn't want this movie to get out.
Yeah, that's it.
So it just was now released. And like I said, it's starring Jesus himself, Jim Caviezel. Who are confused. That's Passion of the Christ, the most traumatizing film I've ever watched. Why did I see that?
I saw that
But
on Easter, and the only seat left was in the front row. So I was like a teenager in a fetal position weeping in the front row, and then I went and met my family for Easter lunch at IHOP.
the trauma of both those things.
I know. Or maybe it wasn't Easter Day. I think it might have been the Maundy Thursday, because that's like when he technically died. Anyway, I just remember weeping in the front row of that movie theater. It was awful. And then going to IHOP. Yeah.
In the front row. Poor Mark.
Mm-hmm.
You're so strong.
Yeah.
You've overcome so much.
I know. Sorry, continue.
So, the movie is focused on, like I said, based on true events. Jim Caviezel is portraying Tim Ballard. That's a real person. And he is also Mormon.
Okay.
And Timmy is the creator of this organization called Operation Underground Railroad, or OUR. And if you think Underground Railroad, you would be correct. Let me show you this image, please. Stand by.
Like this.
It's traumatizing.
I already don't
sorry
like
if
it.
If you're only listening, but please look at this image of it's some white men carrying little children on a railroad.
Oh my god.
So I was like,
I already hate it. I already hate this so much.
Operation Underground Railroad. So Tim Ballard, on the website OUR, it says that he's a former U.S. government agent. He really was. What did he exactly do? I'm not sure. Who quit his job in order to devote his life to rescuing children from global sex traffickers.
Do you think that he's friends with Detective Ken?
You know what? They actually seem that they'd be besties. I could see them getting together at IHOP and discussing their plans to save the world.
Yeah.
So I guess content warnings, lots of talking about children, abuse of children, child sex trafficking. I think those are the main content warnings, I would say.
Despairing over the future of our nation, is that a content warning? Because that's I've seen that on the horizon.
Yes, actually, yes. I'm glad you put that there.
Okay.
So now we have this film. Of course, it's very supported by right-wing media. Lots of interviews with Jimmy, with like Charlie Kirk and people of those sorts. And of course, a lot of people saying Hollywood doesn't want you to see this film. A lot of people I was seeing like on social media who would go see the movie, they're like, oh, they don't want us to see this film. The AC was out in my theater, or the show started late, or there was an error. I'm like, that just happens in movie theaters? Or like, why would AMC not want you to see this movie that you bought a ticket so they're getting money to, like, that's what a lot of people who've been viewing have been saying, like, they're working against us. Like,
can we at some point circle back on the nature of conspiracies in general? Because I have some things to say, but I feel like let's get through this, because
I'm like, give me a good foundation. Your AC didn't work, so Hollywood doesn't want you to see this movie because it's all run by reptilian people who are blood-sucking vampires, right?
Oh my god.
I mean,
I'm anti-Semitism. That should be another warning, I'm assuming.
Oh yes, actually. Good call.
Just the reptilian reference. I was like, let's go ahead. Let's just put that out there. Yeah.
For sure. Mel Gibson, Mr. Problematic himself, of course, saw this film and wept because, of course, it was amazing.
Oh my god! I did not see him coming back up into my life ever. Wow. Okay.
He goes back into wherever he was hiding. Makes me so sad. Off topic, because I love The Patriot. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's some like USA shit for me. Like when I watch that, I was like, I'm proud to be an American.
You're red goats.
Yeah. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
Good film.
Yeah.
God damn it. So, for those of you who don't know, Jim Caviezel is a staunch, devout Catholic. When I was Googling him, apparently when he was filming The Passion of the Christ, of course, he had like daily prayer or whatever with a local priest. He's very about that. Of course, he's anti-abortion, anti-liberal values. He fights against Satan, of course,
Oh,
like a
all
good
day, every day.
Catholic
Sure.
man. I'm sure
Yep.
he's really busy with that.
Mhm.
So I'm like, do I go into the conspiracy theory first, or do I go into the problems with Operation Underground Railroad? I'm trying to think. I didn't set up a
Well,
lot of arrows on this board.
so like, okay, so it's about Tim Ballard.
Yes.
Maybe
So
start with what Tim
okay.
Ballard did that the movie documents because it's
So
quote unquote real events.
yeah, based on true events. So Tim Ballard creates Operation Underground Railroad because that's his life passion, is to save children from sex trafficking. And is that in
Okay.
the United States? Of course not. That only happens in other countries like South America, Central America. That would never happen here in
Right.
America. Like
Right.
ever.
Yeah.
Police.
There's definitely not a famous case of that in Tennessee where a 16-year-old girl killed the man who was trafficking her.
Never
That
heard of
didn't
it.
happen. No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. So, of course, this is his organization. So, allegedly, according to the website, they've saved over 3,800 kids, and Tim Ballard and his wife have adopted 2 of them.
Okay.
And so the movie is following kind of his life story. I think it starts out with how he with his job with the US, and there were some in the clips I've seen, like some kind of operation or something, and he wanted to save these kids, but he had to follow the rules of his job, and that wasn't allowing him to do that. So he was like, I'm gonna break free. God's children aren't for sale. And
I already
so
hate
he
him.
he creates this company that goes on these missions to different countries to rescue these children from sex trafficking, and that's kind of what the movie's focused on. And it shows obviously like people going to countries and asking for young girls, and there's this really creepy scene that I saw where it like obviously fades to black because he like closes a curtain, but it's like a gross old man with a child, a literal child actress, unless this is an older person and they just look
No.
really young, but from what I saw, this looks like a
No.
child,
I don't
and
like
she's
it.
like crying sitting on the
No.
bed, and he's like puts a bottle down, and like it's showing the motions of what's about to happen, and then it goes from outside, so you just see him close the curtains. And I'm like, did you need to?
I hate that so much.
Mhm.
And when we
Yeah.
say they're rescuing these children, are they actually stealing these children?
Well, Mark,
Okay. Okay. Just a
I don't,
question.
excellent question. So that's really the movie is following him, and then spoiler alert, if you wanted to see the movie, apparently at the end, the Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, like kills a trafficker, like himself, like he kills him because
Does he go to jail for murdering
not.
someone?
Why would he do that? He was
Does
saving the children.
What country was it in?
It was some South American or Central American country. I can't remember. Sorry, I was watching a really long Mormon stories book, and I didn't take notes
I
on the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. I saw that they had one, but I didn't watch it. So okay, well now, so like the questions that just where I'm at in processing this, I have 3 main thoughts about this. One, just about the actual story. One, Operation Underground Railroad and that imagery is like so problematic. I don't even know how to talk about it. Like, okay.
Mm.
2, I mean, I obviously, I do not believe that children should be abused or harmed in any way.
No.
But I have a lot of questions about how they know, like, how are they able to take children? Like, they are technically trafficking those children, even if they have good intentions, if they are stealing them.
No, Mara, they're
And then,
setting them free.
but to where? Like, what?
So that
What
is not
do they
always
have a
clear.
farm? Do they
Which
have a
is an
children's
issue.
farm that they're setting them free onto? Like, what does
Some
that
of them they
mean?
brought to the United States, but then that's another issue because visas are really hard to obtain for them. So,
Well, also, we've made it clear as a country that we do not want migrant children. So I don't know what
exactly.
they're doing bringing them here.
Hello, but I didn't get a lot of information on what happens to them once they're rescued. Like, so where do they go?
What,
Or, one of the things, and I don't know, you can link stuff onto the podcast,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
an article, because there was the thing that I watched with Mormon Story podcast were 2 journalists who have written up a bunch of pieces on Vice. So those are good articles to read.
Okay.
and they were saying something like, oh, I forgot, or some of these different places that they go into, because they might also go into some Asian countries, like South Asian countries,
Mm,
if, like, don't quote me, but I think so. But they're like, some of them, sometimes it's, it's different in their country, they have different laws, and sometimes they are literally engaging in like sex work to make money for themselves or their families, and it's not like
mhm.
necessarily they've been trafficked, so now they're taking that source of income. Or sometimes they do these sting operations, and then the women end up getting, or the girls get arrested.
Yes, yeah.
um so
There's back when I loved Jesus. Um, this was an issue that I was very interested in because I, I don't know if we'll get here, but like this has become a big issue in right wing circles. And a lot of people I think have legitimate like investment in trying to end the suffering of children. And like
yeah.
that is very commendable.
Mhm.
But like I remember back when I was reading, like that was a lot of what it was talking about is the complications of like how do you do interventions on a personal level,
Yeah.
because some of the like government and law systems in these different developing countries, it's not technically illegal, or
Yeah.
the women, the girls, the girls who are participating in it are coerced, but are willing in the sense of
Yeah.
they understand it's a part of their job in their and like I hate that any of that's true, but it makes
Yeah.
it hard to like actually.
But it's not necessarily they were taken and sold into
Right, they're not like
something.
stolen from
Yeah.
somewhere, and yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have a really clear delineation on that. And so that's one of the things that I had, because they get a lot of money in donations, because this is a
Oh, I bet.
nonprofit. Which I have down here from 2020, they got $47 million.
What? From
Only
who?
13.5 of that was for like operating and functional expenses. So they had 33.9 million left over to, where does that go to? Who knows? So they get a
That
lot
is
of money.
shady as fuck.
A lot of money. And so
I
the people from
liking
Vice
this guy less and less.
the people from Vice have talked to various people who've like gone on some of these missions or whatever. And so they've heard of like they're not always well organized.
I
They
bet.
don't always have good intel of where they're going. So they don't like know that here is a ring or here's a group of people. They sometimes they'll go into these places and just start like asking for young girls, and they're like, she was saying like that may also almost make it worse if it wasn't an issue, or kind of just bringing it to the attention of regular people, being like, oh, this
Yeah.
is an opportunity here, and basically waiting for someone to lead them to that and then busting it. So it's not like they have like people on the ground that give them this intel, like, we
Yeah.
know this is where this
Like
is. They're kind of
local
just,
partners who
yeah,
like,
no, they're just going in there and they're like, hey, young girls around here,
what
okay,
a
we're here to save the
fucking
day.
creep. Like
you
what?
know they have, so they said that they've also claimed in to be like training local law enforcement, and like in the United States there's really no evidence of that, just some like donations to police departments.
Okay, well,
They
yeah. If we're keeping a tally of like things I don't like, here we go.
or just
There's another one.
another one
Yep.
another one. They also, the journalists from Vice were saying that a lot of very common and established anti-trafficking organizations don't work with them.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
I'm shocked. Shocked to hear
yeah,
that people who actually know what the fuck they're doing are like, we're
what do
good.
you mean? This man made it his mission to be the white Harriet Tubman.
Oh, wow.
The one guy who went on one of the missions says that one of like his training things was what to do if you're sexually tempted by a victim.
Of course.
So that happened before, because
Oh
they had
my
they had
god.
to put that
I
in.
hate it so much.
Isn't it terrible?
I hate it
Um,
so much.
a
God,
lot
this
of
is so much worse than what I told you about Colleen. I have to say.
Sorry, Mara.
Oh my god,
If
this
I
is
keep
awful.
laughing, will it make it better?
Wait, okay. One other thing about the story that I have like the other leaving the story I have a question about is, did he actually murder someone? And if so, is this going to get him in trouble with that?
So then people were like asking that because they're saying based on true events, and they were like, okay, no, we took some liberties with the movie, and he didn't kill anyone.
He said, okay, he at least says he didn't kill it. If that was, I don't know where that scene happened. Let's say it happened in like Honduras. If I were the Honduran government, I would be looking into that because
let's investigate. Because would I be surprised if it was true? No.
Shady people like busting, like randomly going up to people in the street being like, excuse me, can I have a young girl? I'm not, it doesn't shock me to hear that escalated to some kind of violence.
Shocking, I tell you.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so let's see. Also, a lot of the people who are parts of the staff at OUR are close friends and family, of course. Hello.
Yeah, that is shady.
And then there's actual like stories, like big stories that they try to like tout as like, oh look, this is important work we're doing, and some of them have like literally been just like proven to be false. There's one of like, I don't think this is her real name, but it's Liliana. They're saying like they rescued this girl and she like ran across the border into his arms or blah blah blah, when really the girl who they're referencing, she saved herself, like she escaped from her captors herself, and they didn't actually meet her till like years later. I think it's like some kind of conference or something, but they're trying to say like, we saved her.
Liliana, girl, you do not let them take your power, because that is fucking badass to escape your own tormentors. Do not let them take your story.
But they're like, no, we saved her. And then another thing the Vice journalists brought up, besides all of the other mess with OUR, is that they're only focused on sex trafficking and they're ignoring labor trafficking, which is actually a major thing worldwide.
Well, that's because if you'll recall, recently many Republican lawmakers are trying to pass laws that allow children to work again. So I actually don't know that they have I don't know that I'm being somewhat sarcastic, but I'm also saying genuinely, it seems to me many conservative people are okay with kids working.
Literally, like they're like, oh yeah, you're 12, get in the factory. Excuse me, like I saw a recent story of like 2 children who died working some like factory job or something. So of course they would ignore that because they're like, no, that's fine. And then of course, also something I looked up, salary. So in 2020, Tim Ballard was making, or it was on paper, it said 0 that he was getting from OUR.
Okay.
2021, he got a big old raise to $335,000. 2022, an even bigger raise to $525,000.
Okay, that I was gonna say 6 figures is not necessarily egregious for the head of a charitable organization, but now we're getting
But then now in 2023, and this is very recent, and when I was listening, the Vice journalists didn't have they hadn't figured it out yet. But now he has left OUR, so now he's the former CEO of OUR.
Why? Oh, are we gonna find out?
No, I mean, as of when I was listening like a week ago, they didn't they were reaching out to like his spokespeople or whatever, and it just like there's no like definitive thing. I don't know if they were like getting investigated or something. But he is
Jess, what's the over under that he is touching on someone in that organization? Allegedly.
I'm not a betting woman, but
if I was putting my money on something, that's probably what I would put my money on.
Because
just knowing what I know about people.
I know adoption is good. I even side-eyed when I said he adopted 2 of the people he rescued. I was like, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. TikTok has radicalized me against international adoption. Maybe we can do an episode about
that. Oh my god. Oh, I've learned so much. Okay, so people have been like, well, even if it's not necessarily all good, it's still important to get out the messaging and let people know that this is really a thing, because of course here comes the conspiracy theories. We liberals do not care about children being harmed, and Jim
Literally,
Caviezel.
no one thinks that. Nobody,
Jim,
it is not a radical statement to be like, we think children shouldn't be hurt. Literally everyone can agree on that.
we liberals we don't
I'm
want
the
to
one yelling now.
eat the children. Just kidding. But
Yeah.
Jim Caviezel has been on interviews saying that, how why he wanted to be in this movie and so passionate about it, blah blah blah, because of course the elite are so there's something called adrenochrome that is a chemical compound. It's like a legit compound when adrenaline is oxidized, and he's saying that when children are tortured, this builds up in their blood, and then that the elites drink it, and this is how they live longer.
I did hear that, and it's like, sir, we are not living in a science fiction movie. Like what are you talking about? That is some Elizabeth of Bathory shit. Like, what are we talking about?
It's just foolishness, which is very much a very QAnon. But of course, when he's been called, he's like, no, I don't listen to these QAnon conspiracy. Like, sir, literally,
that's literally from that message board.
Just told us.
Yeah.
So it's like, and of course, on Mormon Stories podcast, they were talking about the people who are like, well, it's still good to get the message out, and it's like, one, I don't think anyone is like, oh, that's not happening. I feel like everyone knows
the message is out.
Like, hello. But also, too, they are saying that it really takes the focus off of the people closest to you, the ministers or the priests, the like creepy neighbor. That's because I don't have a statistic, but if a child is going to be harmed, especially sexually, it's most likely going to be someone close to them, not a rando in another country.
Let's talk about one of our shared tab sets that we've both been obsessed with. The other thing is the people who are that you could actually most impact their situation from being trafficked are young non-white girls in the US. See, case in point, Erica Patterson and Daryl Gross. He trafficked her to Las Vegas when she was 14. That's actual trafficking. That's something that you could actually. And hey, guess what? It sounds like Tim Ballard Mormons. There's a shit ton of you in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What if you all said like, Operation Today is stop trafficking in Las Vegas of American girls, not.
Nope. I don't understand how it always skips. Like anytime there's a rescue something or Bill and Melinda Gates I'm like, I understand those countries need help, but how do you always ignore the one you're in? Start here.
Start in your own backyard.
People are hurting here.
Yes.
And like, of course, Mormon Stories, he pointed out, I just drew a blank on his name.
John DeLynn?
Yes. He was like, and with him, Tim Ballard being Mormon, it's like, do you know how many? He's like, why not talk about that? How many? Because he referenced like the Boy Scout scandal and how many people, their bishops are covering up sexual abuse there, or Jim Caviezel being Catholic. If anybody,
listen,
like literally, there's such not like easy place to start, but like literally, it's right here. There's already issues. Not to say let's leave other countries to whatever whim, but like, why not in your own backyard?
The fact that that's not where you're starting says something about your motivations.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, again, the message is out. We all know that horrible things happen to children and young people. Like, we all know that. And there are any number of organizations in any area in the US where you could be impacting your own community and volunteering there instead of paying thousands of dollars to go do it somewhere else where you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't understand the situation on the ground.
Making it worse sometimes, a lot of times, probably. Yeah, and all that money, but
oh my gosh, Jess, this is so awful.
Well, don't you want to go to the movie theater now and see it?
No.
But after you had watched this film, they're saying, right, it's important to get the message out. So what do you think at the end of the film would be the call to action?
Donate to that organization?
Well, that would make more sense. kind of. But at the end of the film, this is what the girl had on her Instagram. It basically is like, I don't know if it's a QR code, but like basically like a
Oh
link
no.
to like be an angel and buy someone else a movie ticket who can't afford it.
What? What a fucking grift!
Pass it along.
Do you know how? Oh my god, that would be like at the end. That would be like at the end of a ASPCA commercial where it's like in the arms. It's like, and you too can pass this message along by buying somebody a Sarah McLachlan CD. Like what?
Yep, it's not donate even organization enough money, even that more to donate to Underground Railroad or these other organizations fighting or sex trafficking. Nope, it's buy somebody else a movie ticket. Pass it along. Be an angel.
Oh my god, that is such a fucking grift. What?
I was like, what the fuck is this?
But again, doesn't that just tell you so much about it's not about actually impacting something, it's about we're getting the message out. And it's like the message is out. Why don't you actually take some meaningful action that would actually help instead of just talking about it?
Mara, spreading the message, spreading the gospel. They're what they're doing. They're basically evangelizing about. It's like we know there's creeps and they're everywhere, and we didn't need you to tell us, but of course they're convinced that liberals and the Hollywood elite are trying to. This ties right back to pizza parlor with a basement that doesn't have a basement in DC. Pizza.
I mean, I am already converted to the church of don't hurt kids. Already converted. Don't need to evangelize on that.
I'm there with you. I will tie to a good organization that will fight. Not to this one, and all of their sketchiness. But I think, something else that they, the image is not easy. I'm not even trying to put it up the camera, but it's in one of the Vice articles that I'll send you to link. And it basically is taken from like a meeting, and it's Tim Ballard has a big old whiteboard, bigger than mine. And in the middle, which I tried to kind of sketch here, in the middle, it has Tim.com. And then around it, it has all these different things. Like it says like awareness, funding, orphanage, like all these different things, but all of them pointing to timballard.com. Like, let's do all of these things and like point it towards. It's really, I couldn't read all of the different things. But the way they were interpreting it seemed like the whole plan was like, let's do all these things. And the goal is to put it here, the money here. Because he's a lot of them say like funding. And there's a quote, it's probably something in the Bible, I don't know, but it says, take sizzle on the rescue, lead them to the covenant. Maybe I read sizzle wrong, I don't know, but it's really, you can see the image and it just is like, why are you the center? Shouldn't like saving children or something be the center?
Yeah,
I don't know. Everything about it just is like,
this sounds, allegedly, in my opinion, based on what you have told me, this sounds like charity fraud. That's like what this sounds like to me.
Because where's all 33.9 million left over after paying salaries and operating expenses?
Yeah.
Where'd I go with?
Yeah, and like if your call to action at the end of your big promo movie is to buy tickets to the movie, this just sounds like a charity grift to me.
Major. But he God's children are not for sale. These are crusaders, Mara. They're fighting. They want freedom to ring the sound of freedom. I think that's all I had. Oh, and then I just looked up some numbers. And granted, I don't know what is like the most trusted website for statistics. This one was just like human trafficking hotline.com or something. I was just trying to look for statistics versus labor trafficking. So this one said that on average, there's about 24.9 million people worldwide in some kind of, against the situation, which is very sad. About 16 million in private industry labor trafficking, 4.8 sex trafficking, and 4.1 in like state sanctioned or state imposed labor. So because they're talking about during that podcast episode, just like how many people are stuck in situations because they were saying like people who will come to the United States, they're on a visa or the visa is going to expire, how their employers will like hold their passport or their documents and they can't leave, and they're able to like not pay them or pay them crap, and you know the threat is I'm going to call this authorities on you. So they're not talking about, of course they wouldn't talk about that or about all of the abuse going on right here under their nose of their own churches. But let's look out there, because of course the problem doesn't exist in the United States. We're free here.
Yeah, like we're definitely not trafficking people to do like a lot of our agricultural and meat industry work at all.
Those
No,
people get paid so well.
we're okay. Let's circle back to what I brought up earlier about conspiracies. Can I just say, and I can't get into all the details, but I used to live in DC. I was a consultant, so like I've done some work for the federal government. The amount of coordination that most of these conspiracies seem to presuppose from our government, I am here to tell you, I do not think is possible. Like, after having worked with them and then also just like being at like parties with people who work for the government, there seems to be this feeling that there's like this elite cadre of like super geniuses who are running the government. And I'm like,
yes,
I'm just here to tell you that's not true. And that
Mara,
like it takes years for them to do anything.
Like hello, as a military spouse.
Oh
let
yeah,
me tell you,
yeah.
the government's slower than molasses doing anything.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's good and bad that it has good and bad things about it. But like a lot of conspiracy theories, I just take a step back because like I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of like elite people in terms of like going to Ivies and like Fortune 500 companies or whatever. And like, yeah, a lot of them are smart, but I just don't believe that they're smart and like cunning enough to do the kinds of like incredibly like, and also that nobody would talk about it in a way that was at all credible. Like I just don't.
There's never anything like, give me something. But of course, Mara, we're not privy to that. They're meeting underneath the Denver airport, so obviously they exist.
Yeah, I mean, like, and like, I'm not saying that there are no conspiracy theories that haven't proven to be true at some point, but the ones that have proven to be true feel very human to me. They don't feel like elite people torturing children for their hormones. Like that.
They're draining the blood, and then at the end of the day, they zipper and they're a lizard underneath. Like if I saw, like, give me realness like that, then like, oh,
yeah, I just don't buy a lot of these things in terms of purely like as a project manager, like the logistics of them. I'm like, I can barely get people together to like deploy software. Like, I just don't believe that humans are this good at like
the US government could never.
Yeah, I just don't. The tactics.
We made this plan 17 years ago, and we're still waiting to launch it. If you would, just the stories I hear about them waiting on crucial equipment to operate their United States military taking years. Child, you think they got children under a pizza parlor?
Yeah, I just don't believe that they have the ability to operationalize covertly at that level. Like, I just don't.
It's just flabbergasted. Like, not surprised, but surprised. I just don't understand. Like, do you look at people who say we want equal rights for all people and think that we want children to be harmed? How does that make sense?
I think that there's some sort. It's like a narrative that like progressive people care about marginalized identities, not people. And I think it's because the alt-right doesn't look at people with marginalized identities as people. So like I don't think that they see it as as coming from a place of humanity. I think they see it as coming from a place of ideology.
Mm,
So they
interesting.
don't,
Interesting.
I don't think they think that, like, I want children to not be harmed because they're people. The same way that I
Mhm.
want transgender people to have access to the care that they need because they're people and they deserve that. Like,
Yes.
that's my unifying ideology, not like screw traditional values. Like, I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, they just it's just been really sad to see some people on like, that I'm like, oh, this person I like, the guy being like, this movie is so important, guys, and they just don't want you. I'm like, damn it, another one. I lost
I
another one.
Yeah,
But
I
that
saw.
must be it because why it just doesn't it just they're none of their logic makes sense. These theories have like make any sense or seem like there's any possibility they can actually happen. And it just very whole thing just feels very icky with the way he started this company, the money, him leaving, the movie.
Yeah.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, this is what I think this is probably one to watch. We'll keep an eye for when the inevitable scandals come forward from Operation Cultural Appropriation.
There also might be another movie.
About what? About how he hid the body?
No, Sound of Freedom 2, 3. I mean, look at Mission
Electric
Impossible. Who
Boogaloo.
knows? Sound of
Oh my
Freedom Part
gosh.
2.
This is somehow what I expected, but still somehow worse. Like, I don't.
I'm so glad I could. I was gonna say, like, no, I lost my train of thought. Exceed your expectations.
Yeah, yeah. This is
For oh,
grim.
you are
Though,
like, just
so
imagine. Do they have merch like with that image on it? Can you imagine?
oh my god, they probably do. Oh,
Freedom fighters.
that's gonna show up in a Goodwill someday. Oh god.
Oh, they're probably selling a sweatshirt for like $65.99.
Jesus. Oh my god. This is so grim. Well,
It
I'm
makes me
I'm happy to report I purposely picked a topic for our next episode that does not have to do with the abuse of children because I feel like we have covered that for like 3 or 4 episodes in a row and we've got to take a break.
it just seems like a common thing.
It seems
But yeah,
like
no one
something that
knows
comes up a
about it.
lot.
No one knows about it, but
Yeah, nobody's talking about it at all. So,
okay. Sorry
but
y'all for another one. We're taking it next time. It's not gonna be about the cheering.
yeah, next time
Do you
we're
want to
going
get
to talk
to
about why Elon Musk
cheese?
is so screwed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
can't wait.
I've been doing a deep dive and it's just funny and we get to be, you know, cynical
Good. I can't
and
wait.
mock him.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elon Musty.
If I find anything
Okay.
about the abuse of children, I just will not include it because I feel like we need a break.
Which I actually think that's in there. Probably isn't. Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
But yeah, just leave that out. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just not going to mention it if it's there.
I'll so like my next one I will stay away from the children. Give y'all a break. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
We're
But
trying
a
to
lot of people are terrible.
there's just a lot of relevant topics having to do with people hurting children, which is very sad.
And relating to Mormonism.
And relating to Mormonism. Oh, I haven't found Elon's Mormon connection yet. That's something else I need to find. I'll find the path.
I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's in there. Whether a missionary met him when he was, looking over the laborers in the mine, South Africa. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe Peter Thiel or someone is Mormon secretly. I don't know.
Mara will find the connection.
I will. I truly will.
So everyone, don't go see Sound of Freedom. Go see Barbie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Barbie, but I
Be
think
a
that would be a
Barbie
better
girl.
use. Yes, you be a better use of your money.
Agreed.
Or
Agreed.
I don't know, eat a sandwich. Anything with donating.
Watch Dungeons and Drag Queens on D20.
That's amazing.
It's so good.
I hope you've learned something from this. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. But when
Where could people?
when you're seeing organizations like this, look into them. Okay.
Yeah,
Google
yeah.
it.
Do a double click on where you're giving money to. I should probably
Always.
double click, but my go to is always World Central Kitchen. They do great work both combating hunger in like disaster situations, but they also work with communities to try to stabilize their food supply for like
Oh,
climate change stuff. So
that sounds like a good one.
I like that one. But you should always go, I forget what it's called, but there's a lot of websites where you can research charities before you give them your hard-earned money.
Yes, because we know it's harder than needs. Like the government saying there's aliens. I saw somebody's like, okay, girl, I got bills. I don't care.
I think that that's a distraction.
Eggs are $6 and rent is like $3,000 for a studio apartment with no bathroom.
Yeah.
People, yeah, bye. If the aliens exist, I want them to come pick me up.
I mean, I'm on the record of wanting to fuck them, so that's really what I'm looking at. I've read a lot of sci-fi romance, okay? I have a very good idea of what that could be like, and I feel like someone's got to do it, so.
Wonderful.
Oh, on that note, Jess, where can people find you?
Well, Jess Owens is my YouTube channel, mostly about books. Said by Jess on Instagram and TikTok are main spots right now. What about you?
You can find me at Books Like Whoa on YouTube and mostly YouTube, sometimes TikTok.
Woo! Closing. Ooh, I had a lot of tabs open. Closing on tabs.
Close them all.
What's a mouse sound? I might keep this board up for a while to rage. One of Andrew's coworkers, or a couple of them, were talking about the movie, and I was like, look, I'll tell you when the episodes come out. They need to watch this.
Yeah.
They need to watch this. They need to learn.
They need to get some education here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if y'all are watching, the tech Sarge sent you over. What's up?
Hey there. Oh. Well, we will talk to you later.
Tabs closed.
Whoop.
Bye.
Bye.